Hello and welcome back to the Did You Know? Have you ever had a to-do list? How many times have you completed? You keep adding things. And so you're constantly feeling behind, friend. That is why you're overwhelmed. You have overcommitted yourself. You have overpromised through people pleasing. And now you're completely... Hello and welcome back to the 8-Figure Dentist podcast. And I'm your host, Dr. Jana Konovalenko. Today, we're continuing part 2 of my series on Overwhelm for women dentists, especially if you're a mom and you're a practice owner. And last time in part 1, I taught you the concept of math versus drama. So if you right now have a pressing issue happening, if you're in the middle of the fire, what I want you to do is I want you to take a beat and separate all the facts of the problem that you're dealing with, describe factually exactly what's happening. And then the rest is your opinion, your emotions, all the drama, what's going to happen, the catastrophize and the future prediction. All those things are not factually true about the situation. All of those things I collectively called drama. So when you separate math from drama, solving any problem becomes easy. When you separate math from drama, solving any problem becomes easy. If there's no solution to your problem, then it's not a problem. It's a fact of life. It's a beautiful thing, right? Because every problem has a solution. That's literally a definition of a problem. So hopefully you've tried that. If that's where you're at right now and you're needing this. And the second thing I taught you is a 20-minute, what I call a to-do download. When you take all of to-do list, all of the things running in your head and maybe somewhere on sticky notes, or maybe you've texted them to yourself or emails, and you just have all these little notes scattered everywhere. It creates open loops in your brain, and they're draining your energy. They're literally sucking the life out of you. And I want you to take 20 minutes, set a timer for 20 minutes, and I want you to write down all these things, take them from all the little places and put them on one sheet of paper, pen and paper. Okay? Even if you're an electronic type of person, just put it on a piece of paper. Okay? So these are the two things briefly what I taught you in part 1. And if you haven't caught it from last episode, number 96, go back and listen to more details on what to do. So hopefully you've done these two things. You've addressed the acute problem that's happening and you've done the brain dump. And by now you will feel so much better. It just feels every time I do this to-do download, I just feel so much more in control. I see all my problems, all my to-dos in front of me on a piece of paper or multiple pieces of paper. That's okay. And I just feel such a sense of relief and like the weight has been lifted off my shoulders a little bit. At least the goal is in front of me. Now I can attack them. They're not just somewhere in nooks and crannies of my brain. Now, the next thing, what I'm going to teach you today is the second step of what you want to do in order to conquer your overwhelm for good. And as a reminder, I want you to do this practice weekly. What I'm teaching you in these 3 episodes on how to deal with overwhelm, the very practical solutions. We're not talking about meditation. We're not talking about breathing techniques. All of these things are great, but I believe that if you have anxiety over something, it is because there's something you could be doing to solve it. That's what I believe. Sure, you could have an anxiety disorder, you can have anxious personality, you can be depressed or burned out, all of these things. But I fundamentally believe that when you are anxious about something, it is because there's something you can do to solve that problem. Okay, so that's what I'm teaching you in these 3 series of how to deal with overwhelm. Is I'm teaching you how to create focus and how to figure out what to start solving first and then second and third, so that you can create momentum. You can actually knock things off your list and don't stay paralyzed and overwhelmed. Okay, so you have your to-do download that you did. You took 20 minutes. You unloaded everything from your brain, all the sticky notes on a piece of paper. Step number 2, what I want you to do is I want you to transfer all those items on a calendar. I want you to transfer all those items on the calendar. To-do list is never meant to be completed. Did you know? Have you ever had a to-do list? How many times have you completed? You keep adding things. And so you're constantly feeling behind. It is draining your life energy. It sucks. So what I want you to do is I want you to take all those items from that piece of paper or pieces of paper, and I want you to transfer them with dates and times on your calendar. I don't care if it's electronic, if it's iCal, if it's Google Cal, if it's on your phone. I don't care if it's a paper one like I do, or if it's Kindle Scribble. Like, I don't care how you do printed papers, but I need to call you up and say, hey, when are you sending that email? And you tell me Tuesday at 9:45 a.m. Okay? Everything on your to-do list needs to have a home on a schedule. The reason why you're so overwhelmed and you don't have enough time for everything because you haven't scheduled everything on your calendar with time. So yeah, you don't have enough time because you don't even know when you're going to do it. So what I want you to do is, here's how you're going to do it. First, you're going to, and for those of you who are like, oh, this feels too constricting, I feel rushed, there's just too much going on, hang in there. I'm going to tell you what to do first. So what you're going to do, you're not going to start immediately plugging all the problems that you have, all the to-do lists. What you're going to do first is you're going to block off your sleep, and you need at least 7 hours of sleep to even regulate your nervous system, to even regulate your hormones, especially if you're in your 40s. So first, you're going to block off sleep at least 7 hours. And if it takes you half an hour to fall asleep, you have to bake it in your schedule. If you go to bed at 9, but it takes you 30 minutes, you're going to put 9 in bed, 9:30 starts your 7 hours. Okay? So 7 hours of sleep. Next, you're going to put your weekly standing appointments like work, right? I'm seeing patients these days from, let's say, 8 to 5. Then put commute. Then block off any responsibilities that you have that are like week to week. Like, for example, picking up kids from preschool or putting kids to bed, dinner with the kids, family time from 5 to 8, whatever that is, block that off your calendar. Then you're going to add some me time. Okay, even if it's just 10 minutes, if you have, like me, 3 jobs, I have 2 businesses and a 3rd job, and I have 3 children ages 4 or under without stable childcare or parents, and they don't go to preschool, they're at home. Even if you have something crazy like this going on, you'll have to find 5 or 10 minutes for yourself. And the reason why is because when your brain is going to look at this calendar that's jam-packed with to-do lists, you are not going to want to do any of them by Tuesday afternoon. None. Because there's no breathing room. Your brain is going to tell you there's no breathing room. It's too constricting. It's too much. And the brain is right. So we have to we have to bake in the breathing room, because you will end up scrolling on the couch through Instagram on a Tuesday with a glass of wine and foregoing all the plans and not going to the gym in the morning. Okay? So bake in at least a little bit of time for yourself, whatever that looks like. Even if it's just going to the bathroom, locked door. Moms of young children will completely relate to this one. So that's what you're going to do next. Then after that, put any appointments. You have a hair appointment, you have a nail appointment, you have CPA appointment, you have whatever else appointments, put them in there. Now you see the white space that's left. Now you're going to start transferring everything from your to-do list onto that white space. And many of you will tell me, Jana, but there's barely any space left. That is the point, my friend. That is why you're overwhelmed. You have overcommitted yourself. You have overpromised through people pleasing, and now you're completely stretched thin. I'm not saying to immediately start saying no to everyone, but you need this reality check. You need to actually put things on the calendar to see what you're working with. 24 hours in a day, everybody has this amount of time, but you actually have to see how you're spending this time. Hear me out. You spend every second of every day on something. So there's no such thing as making time. I'm going to make time to take this training. How are you going to make time? Please let me know. What's the trick? We can't make time. It's not physically possible. You have to swap time, right? So you have to substitute something that you're spending your minutes on right now with the new thing that you want to do. So what do you want to say no to that you're doing right now? And most of you can optimize your time. Most of you are still doing things mindlessly, or you're allowing interruptions, or your calendar says to do one thing, but you really feel like something else is important. We're going to talk all about how to deal with distractions in part 3 in the next episode next week. But for right now, I want you to start plugging things on your calendar from that to-do list. And you will notice that you may need more than a week. Remember, we're doing this activity once a week. I usually do it on a Sunday, a week ahead. So you're doing it for like a week in advance, not a whole month, because things can come up. But you will notice that some things don't fit, and that's very telling. We can start making decisions about your commitments and about your life moving forward. But for now, put them in there. Another tip I'm going to give you while you're scheduling all your things from the to-do download, I want you to plan realistically. You are a human being. A human being needs bathroom breaks. Human being says hello to their office manager when you walk in, and a human being takes 5 minutes to make a cup of coffee when she gets to work. You have to plan for this. I'm not saying that you're going to block off 5 minutes to take coffee, but if you think that checking emails or calling dentists will take you 20 minutes, plan 30. Plan a little bit extra, okay? So that's what I want you to do when you create this kind of schedule. And I teach my clients to spend 40 minutes doing this. So it takes you an hour, 20 minutes for the to-do download, and then 40 minutes to schedule everything. At the beginning, give yourself a little bit more because you're new at this. At the beginning, give yourself up to 2 hours. Make that time investment if you want to stop being reactive and running on the hamster wheel. You need to do this activity. You need these 2 hours. Hear me out. If you are serious about ending the cycle of overwhelm, pulling your hair out, being reactive, that's costing you a lot of money in mistakes, in things that are falling behind the cracks. Invest this 2 hours, start this practice. Next week, I'm going to tell you what to do with interactions, because this is the number one thing that I hear from my clients. But what do I do when emergency happens, or I'm about to walk out of the door and then my husband asks me to do something, or excuse me, I get to work and then my staff needs me? We'll talk about this. For now, I want you to do this exercise that I told you. I am excited to help you end overwhelm. It's absolutely possible. Let me know what questions you have. Reach out to me, DM me on Instagram. That's the place where I respond the most. It's at the 8-Figure Dentist is my handle. Otherwise, I can't wait to see you in the next episode. If you can spare a second and leave me a review and share this podcast with your friends, I really appreciate it. It will help more doctors, women, dentists, orthodontists find this resource and help them have thriving lives and careers. Thank you so much. Again, thank you so much for listening, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Bye.